We're going to Don from Syracuse. Don, you're on Heart of the Matter.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Earlier you made a comment that Brigham Young had people murdered in the early days of Utah.
I did make that comment, Don.
Yeah. I wonder if you could document one of those murders at all for me.
Well, Brigham Young was a pretty crafty guy, and so all we can say is that Brigham Young was the leader of men who killed. We know that Porter Rockwell. We know that those other boys that we showed who are Danites who came out with him killed. We know from records, and you can go to UTLM, Don, I think you know that, and you can look up the information right there and see it. But so as far as Brigham Young, well, he was their prophet, and he was their leader, and he would, we do have it documented where he said, look, if you don't follow my word. So it sounds like he was definitely behind the actions of murder on people.
Can you document, can you give me some names, for example, of one of these people that were murdered?
I just gave you a whole bunch. Want me to give you some? Want me to give them to you?
With documentation. You make lots of statements, but you don't make documentation.
Well, I give you, the names I just gave you was from a letter that someone wrote, and I prefaced reading that letter saying, we don't know if this is right or not. He may have had an axe to grind.
But previously you said that Brigham Young had people murdered, but he
did.
No documentation.
Yeah, well, would you document it if you murdered somebody? I mean, I don't think you'd write down, today I had so-and-so killed, especially if you're the leader of the church and you're dealing with dignitaries from Washington, D.C. The man was not dumb. I've never accused him of being dumb.
So what we're dealing with here is hearsay, is that correct?
No, we're not dealing with hearsay. We're dealing with, in a court of law, he would be convicted.
Okay, then let's have some references. Let's see if we can document that.
Well,
I don't think you can do that.
Don, have you ever gone to UTLM?
Absolutely.
And you don't think that Senator Tanner has documented Brigham Young's at least influence in murders?
Influence in murders?
Yeah.
Perhaps. Can you document a murder?
No, I can't document a murder.
I didn't think so, but you made a statement that you can't back up, and I think you need to fess up to that.
I'm not going to fess up to anything. I know that Brigham Young was the leader of the Danites. I know that Brigham Young publicly said, if you don't follow us, let me tell you what will happen. That is enough when people are killed within his jurisdiction for me to know that Brigham Young was behind the deaths of people. Okay, so we can play games here and we can pretend. All you want, that's what you live on. Is you live on, well, you can't prove it.
I'm not trying to play a game.
Don, you are.
I'm suggesting that you made a statement that you can't back up.
I stand by the statement, and we can back it up with circumstance.
I challenge you on the next show to do that.
Okay, I just told you. Brigham Young was not so dumb as to write that he had someone killed. But Brigham Young, well, wait, let me finish. Let me repeat it again, Don. Brigham Young said, if you don't do what I say, let me tell you what the rules will be. And if you don't understand this, come see me. Then we had people who were, Brigham Young was their prophet. The Danites followed what Brigham told them to do. Circumstantial evidence would indict Brigham Young in a court of law.
I doubt it, because you can't, all you're bringing up is hearsay. You're not bringing up any kind
so
of
then let me ask you something, Don. Since you're taking this stance with me, if you want documentation, give me documentation on the Pearl of Great Price and the Book of Mormon as being true. Give me documentation. Give me some archaeological...
Asking,
No.
As an LDS person,
Don,
I'm not concerned about documentation about an item of faith.
Oh,
Are you concerned? Would you like to document the Bible?
Well, I, by faith, believe Brigham Young was a murderer.
Would you like to document your Bible?
Yes, I would.
Okay. Can you give me not historical, can you give me the same kind of proof you require of the Book of Mormon for the Bible?
Absolutely.
Okay. What do you require for the Book of Mormon?
I require to know where Zarahemla was.
Well, then I require of you to tell me where cities in the Bible were, because if you will study the Bible...
Are we okay? So,
if you study the Bible, you'll find that many of the cities that are mentioned there cannot be located at this point.
Any of the cities in the Bible cannot be located?
I said many, M-A-N-Y, many.
Okay, show me any city in the Book of Mormon that can be fair. Show me any coin that was used. Show me any yoke. Show me any building that can be verified.
There's no mention of coin in the Book of Mormon.
Sure there is.
Show me. Give me a reference.
I don't have the Book of Mormon with me, Don, but this is not going... don't view this as a victory for you, because you can sit there and say, show me right now. Look
well, next week, give us the reference.
Okay, hold on. Wait 1 second. Will someone in the Will someone in the audience grab a Book of Mormon and look up coins? And then we'll just take care of this right now for the viewing audience. Someone's going to go do that, so stay on the line, Don. Now listen. No, let's stay on the subject, though. The Bible. Are there cities that we can find that are listed in the Bible?
Yes.
Thank you.
I will grant...
You'll grant that.
Just a moment. I misheard your question. Please ask it again.
I said, are there cities listed in the Bible that can be found today as cities that were in the Bible?
There are some, yes.
Some.
There are others that cannot, and I would be happy to send you documentation. Obviously, can't do it right now.
Don, I don't care about your documentation. Okay,
of course you don't.
No, of course I don't, because I've been in your documentation for 40 years. Don, there are hundreds and hundreds of cities they can find. There are thousands, if not millions, of physical artifacts that support. There are manuscript evidence. There's linguistic evidence of this Bible. You don't have anything for any of those 3 books that you claim to be. None. You said, let's make a comparison of the Book of Mormon, talking about evidence, going back to this whole evidence thing. Give me something in the Book of Mormon, Pearl of Great Price, that can be proven, just like the Bible. Something, Don.
There is, in my estimation, no need to prove a book of faith by physical means. I accept the Book of Mormon as I accept the Bible on the basis of faith. I believe that they're both from God. I believe in the Bible, have always believed in the Bible.
No, you don't.
I was a small child.
Yeah,
and
your belief is...
I never believed in the Bible because I had some kind of physical proof. When I was a child in Presbyterian Sunday school, I was taught, Jesus loves me, this I know, for the Bible tells me so.
Isn't that a beautiful line?
As I believe it today.
Okay, Don, let's stop with your testimony. Don, let's stop with your testimony and get on something here. Okay?
Let's go back. Have we got
No. You just got to give a little monologue here. Let me say something. You said you believe the Bible. You love the Bible. And yet you say that there's only some cities. You say that the Book of Mormon, as far as evidence in the Bible, are comparable. Alma 11:4-10 talks about their coins. There's a reference for you. You happy?
There's no reference to coin. If you can quote me a reference to coin.
I just did.
Okay, where is the word coin in the Book of Mormon? Give me chapter and verse.
Well, someone bring the Book of Mormon to me. We're going to take the time to do this. Someone please bring the Book of Mormon to me. Because unfortunately, this actually proves a great point of what you do, Don. I can't wait to do this.
I can't wait to hear where you show me the word coin in the Book of Mormon in that reference.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll show you the word coin in the Book of Mormon.
Let's hear it.
We're waiting. Audience, are you sitting on the edge of your seat? Okay, here comes the Book of Mormon.
Okay, give me the chapter and verse so I can look at it as well.
Just a second. There's your whole system. Okay, now, this is the reference, and then I want to qualify my reference, okay?
Oh, okay. Now remember, we're asking for a reference about coin.
Right. Okay. Now the amount of a seon of gold was twice the value of a senine, and the shum of gold was twice the value of a seon, and a limna of gold was the value of them all. And an amnor of silver was the great of 2 sinims. And an enzon of silver was the great of 4 sinims, and an onti was as great as them all. And this is the value of the lesser numbers of the reckoning. A shiblon is half of a sinim, and therefore a shiblon for half a measure of barley. Okay, now and it goes on, but let me just qualify this just for a second. We go back to the index, and we look up coins. Just a second. I gotta find this. I might be proven wrong here. I'm taking an old seminary teacher guess. Coin. Page 53 of the LDS Index. Coin. It says C. Amnor, Isram, Lima, Onti, Senine, Sam, Seon, Shiblon. Is that good enough?
That is a reference in the dictionary. I'm asking you for a reference in the Book of Mormon.
It's in the Book of Mormon. This is in the index.
I'm not talking about, as I pointed out, the Book of Mormon does not discuss coin. And you just proved that.
Do you know what? This is so beautiful. What camera are we on? There's no toggle light on.
There's nothing to do with coin.
Don? You're on the monitor. Oh, we're on the monitor. I guess this is a coin of, what is this? I don't even know what this is, so it's not going to help. That's a gold Sion. This is a gold Sion from the Bible. It's not from the Book of Mormon, so don't get confused here. Okay, so there we have a comparison of another biblical fact versus a fantasy. Don, you are making yourself, again, I couldn't pay for this. The audience is sitting here listening to this, and they are saying, look, you asked for coins. Shawn read your references from Alma 11, and then he went to the index and says, what are those things? And the Mormon Church prints that those things are coins. The Mormon Church prints this. You get on here. Why? Because you're not interested in truth, Don. You are interested in argument, in apologetics, and you're interested in muddying the water of truth. Okay?
You're entitled to your opinion, but
okay, wait a second. Let me continue. Wait. I got more information here. I just
pointed out that you made a statement that you can't back up from the pages of the Book of Mormon. You have to go to a second source.
Okay, wait a second. The introduction of Alma chapter 11 states that these are Nephite coins and measures. So, let me go to the Book of Mormon introduction. In chapter 11, it says Nephi coinage. I'm looking back at the speaker. Coinage, Don. That is in the chapter heading.
And who wrote the chapter headings?
One of your leaders, or Joseph possibly.
The Book of Mormon itself, the text of the Book of Mormon, is what I was saying in the first place. The Book of Mormon does not address coin. People who made comment later equated that with coin. But I said, where does the Book of Mormon talk about coin?
Don?
It did not, and I made my point.
Don,
now, I know you get on and you want to be the expert on everything.
Don, I'm not an expert. I'm not an expert on anything.
But so far, you haven't proven anything.
So far, I've proven that you're an idiot. And I mean that.
That's a very Christ-like way to put it.
Don't talk to me about Christ-like ways. You are an idiot. That means that you don't have the ability to see plain reasoning here. You have the LDS Church that prints the book. They say in chapter 11 that these are the coins. I read you the coins. I went to the index and I looked up coins. It says coins, and it lists those things that are in chapter 11, and yet you, because you want to muddy waters for people who are searching, and you want them to believe in a fictional book, you will sit here and do all you can to make me look less of what I am. Look at how much less could I look?
Then I have one final question.
All right, Don, go ahead.
Is it equally bad then to make statements that somebody had somebody murdered and not be able to back them up with documented facts?
I can back them up with documented evidence.
I challenge you to do so on the next show.
I did on this show. It's documented evidence.
Gave hearsay on this show.
That's evidence.
Hearsay is not evidence.
I think it is evidence. The evidence we have is this.
If you ever get called into court and are convicted on hearsay, I would be very surprised.
Well, you made it that my comments were hearsay, Don. My comments were not hearsay. My comments were from the historical record of what Brigham Young said before 3,000 people when he said that you slit their throat if they don't obey. They found people with slit throats.
That's not the same as documenting
That's
the murder.
Circumstantial evidence, Don. I'm sorry. You done?
I'm sorry, too, because you're not using rules of logical evidence.
I think I'm using real logic, and I think you have checked your logic in at the door.
One final thought.
Another final thing, Don?
I apologize. I apologize. Just one more thought.
It's okay. Go ahead,
Would you be willing on your show to have an apologist appear with you?
I'm not an apologist, Don, and you know this well because I think, don't you work for an apologist?
No, I don't work for an apologist.
Do you set up appointments for an apologist?
I set up an appointment with you on Van Hale.
Yes, you did, didn't you, Don? Listen, let me explain something to you, Don.
You spoke too much truth.
Let me explain something to you.
Refuted all of your arguments.
Let me explain something to you. Don, Van Hale does not even believe in many things that the Mormon Church teaches. You're trying to promote him here on this show again. I am not an apologist. I simply teach...
I disagree with what you said about Van Hale.
Well, I know you do, but I'm going to tell you, I'm not an apologist. I'm not here to give you equal time. I don't care about your idiocy. I don't care about your lunacy and your logic. That's what it is. We'll replay this next week. We'll replay the segment about the coins so you can hear for yourself how ridiculous it was. Okay? This is the problem with apologetics, is you will take an argument like this in order to win the argument. Not get to the truth, but to win the argument, you will dance around a subject like that like you just did. Don, I don't have time for you. We have people who are coming to know the Lord whose lives are changing. You go back and you and Van Hale get on the radio and rub each other and do whatever you do, but this is over, okay?